Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm filming on my laptop because my phone is like, you know how storage be. So my storage is just not like. I'm making a video about high school and the basic ways that you can graduate high school. I don't have any tips like prepared or, written down or anything like that because this is just like on a whim video. I don't know which video will come out first. I don't know if it's this one or if it'll be my other one where I'm talking about my experience working at Kohl's and all of that. It's going to be really juicy, that video. So I'm really excited for you guys to see that. In this video, it will just be me talking about tips on how to graduate, tips on how to pass your classes. If you're still going to school in person, tips on how to be on time to classes. It's just a bunch of tips on how to graduate high school, basically. So if you guys are interested in that, then keep on watching the video. And yeah, that's my broken closet. Don't look. Give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe right now, or you can wait to the end of the video, see if you like it or not. I don't know. It's up to you. But yeah. So tip number one, I'm going to give 5 tips for graduating high school, okay? So tip number one, it will be coming on time to your classes, okay? Even if you're online, you still have to come on time, okay? You still have to be there, logged on, internet connected, laptop charged, whatever you're using, charge it up. Make sure you got your earphones. If you're in your room, you don't have to have earphones. I don't know if you live with somebody or I don't know your living situations, okay? Make sure you're on time. And if you're in person, make sure you're not going around the hallways talking to your friends, wasting time. Make sure that you go to class, okay? That's tip number one. Make sure you're ready. Make sure you're there on time to class. Because I remember I had a teacher, I think it was my sophomore year of high school, and she was my English teacher, and she just, oh my God, she would close the door whenever we were late to class, and there would be some moments where I would be right there close to her door, and she would close the door. And it would be so embarrassing coming into class because everybody would be staring at you like, oh my God, you're late, you're late, you're late. And I'm usually like the good girl, so everybody would be like, Leah's late, Leah's late. But it's like I would be trying to get to class early. It wasn't my fault because there's traffic in the hallways. It's not my fault. So yeah, be on time to class all the time, even if you're online. Be on time to class, okay? Number 2, I would say if you have a test is a big part of your grade 2. Well, at least for my high school and for my experience going to high school, it was a big part of my high school experience and getting good grades, basically. So I would definitely recommend you study the night before, or what I would do sometimes if I didn't have a chance to study the night before, or study right after that class was over. I would come to school, study with my friends, because we would sit on a bench and we would just like study or we would just talk. So I would pull out my notebook and I would just study with my friends, you know? So I would suggest doing that too with your friends. I would give my friends the questions and the answers that I took from the class before or the day before from the class that we were like, because we would get like study guides a lot of the time. So I would study that. So I would give my friend the answers and questions, have her ask me the questions and me try to answer it basically from the top of my head. So that way I would prepare myself as much as possible for the test. Definitely 100% recommend doing that. Even if you don't have friends, go over it yourself. If you can study, however you study, if you study with earphones, if you study with anything, however you study, then study like that, okay? I just definitely recommend you studying. Studying is so big. You just have to make sure you memorize it. Nobody's saying you have to remember this stuff after high school. Just memorize it while you're there so you can pass. Memorize it as much as possible. That way you can put your mind on the paper. Okay, so the third thing I would say for passing high school and graduating is definitely don't be disrespectful to your teachers. There's no reason to do all that. There's no reason to be the class clown. I've seen so many class clowns and it's just unbelievable. There's no reason to be a class clown. There's no reason to be disrespectful. There's no reason to be rude. Just do what you gotta do. That's what I did. I always stayed to myself. I always did what I had to do because why am I there to joke around? Why am I there to walk the halls and skip classes and waste my time? Why am I going to school to waste my time? You gotta think like that. Like, why are you getting up so early in the morning to go to school just to waste your time, walk around with your friends, be disrespectful to teachers, get sent down to principal offices and waste your time. I used to get up at like 6 o'clock for school. Like, it's very early. So why go to school and waste your time? And you're getting up, you're sacrificing your sleep to get up and go to school. You might as well not even come. You might as well not even come. I'm not encouraging that. But if you are one of those people who slack around and you don't do what you have to do, or you're disrespectful to the teachers, there's really no reason for you to come to school. You're wasting your time and the teacher's time. And it'll also help you out in the long run too, you know, for college. What do they call those? Recommendations when they write the letter and stuff like that. It's also good for that too, and it's just also to have like a nice bond with your teachers, because then they will be more likely to help you out in the long run if you ever need it. If you ever need more time for tests, if you ever need more time for this, that, and the third. If you tell them your problems, you open up to them and you're just more friendly with them. I'm not saying you need to be best buddies with them, but at least be somewhat friendly with them a little bit, and you know, respectful. They may just be like, this is a really good student. I've gotten that so many times where my teachers are just like, yeah, this is a really good student. She's really good. Like, I remember one time I had a sub. I'm not trying to make this video too long, but I remember one time I had a substitute teacher. And he was really nice. And I was on my phone, and he thought I was looking up the answers, you know, for the work that we were doing in class at the time, but I wasn't looking up the answers. I was just on my phone, like on Instagram or YouTube. I was just on my phone. And I remember we had a security guard that came around looking for people who were on their phones. He would peek in the doorway. We wouldn't even see him half the time. He would come in, collect the phones. So that day, he collected the phones. He collected my phone. And my substitute teacher was just like, no, she's a really good student. And she was just looking up the answers for the questions that her and her partners were doing, her group was doing. So then he was like, okay, and then he gave it back to me. And I was shook because I was being a good student. I wasn't really being a good student. But you hear what I'm saying? Like, if you are a good student, you're respectful to your teachers, they're going to stick up for you when times like that come. You know what I mean? So I definitely recommend, even though I don't suggest you being on your phone and doing whatever you want, like I was doing, I definitely recommend, like, you see how it helped me in the long run, though? Like, it helped me, like, he was actually like, okay, no, she's a good student. So yeah, definitely recommend be respectful to your teachers and have a good behavior. Number 4, I definitely recommend doing your homework assignments. Don't wait till late. Don't wait till last minute. Always make sure you do it ahead of time. Even when you're in class and they give you the homework in class, start doing it in class. Some of my classes, we would do it in class. They would go over the answers and stuff like that, and I would just be writing it down. So that way I didn't have to worry about homework the night, the very night of after the class. I didn't have to worry about it. If you need help with questions, that's also another plus while you're in class. Ask a teacher, I don't understand this question. They'll explain it to you, and while they're explaining, you need to be writing what they're saying down, okay? Or at least memorizing it, going back to your seat and writing what they said down, okay? And sometimes you could just be like, can you just go over the questions really quickly? I don't really understand. And if you have enough time in class, they'll definitely go over the questions and answers for you in class and really help you out that way. Number 5, and these may not even be accurate things to graduate high school, but these is what accurate to me. Let me see. I'm gonna make this one really good. I'm gonna try. I would say keep your circle small. I wasn't really I was kind of like a loner. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was like a loner. I was very to myself. I'm still like that. Very to myself. I'm very to myself. So I didn't really have a lot of friends. I had like a group of friends, and I literally on all 5 fingers, I had like 5 people that I was like really close with. So like literally on one hand, I was like close with only a majority of people. Not majority, but a few people. And I think that's what helped my high school experience a lot, because I wasn't bullied. But I feel like people who were really out there were really not really bullied, but they were really out there. So they were talked about more, you know? I don't know. I just stayed to myself. I did what I had to do. I came to school. I did what I had to do. I wasn't really associating with a lot of people. I wasn't a social butterfly. I was very just to myself, and I came to school. I know what I'm there to do, and I would leave. You know what I mean? Like, I was very focused on what I had to do. I wasn't focused on boys. I wasn't focused on this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying it's bad to have a boyfriend in high school. Oh, that could be a whole separate video into itself. But I'm not saying it's bad to have a boyfriend in high school, but it's definitely not something that I would recommend. You know, if the spark is there and you guys really are into each other, definitely go for it. But me personally, I never had the spark. Never happened. So I definitely kept my head in the books. I wasn't a scholar. Like, I wasn't in honor classes. I wasn't this, that, and the third. Like, I wasn't super extremely smart. I just came to school, did what I had to do, showed up on time, studied. I did what I had to do, which made me a good student. You know, you being in honor classes, you being a scholar, you being this, that, and the third does not mean that you're super like above everybody else. Like, you have people who are in regular classes, like myself, who do what they have to do. They participate. Oh yeah, participation too. So if the teacher calls on you, participate, okay? Don't just be like, oh no, I don't know. At least if you don't know, take a shot in the dark and just reply and say something. That way, that counts as participation. Even if you're incorrect, it counts as participation. You should stay to yourself, okay? That's all that one is. Just stay to yourself. You know, if you want to have a boyfriend, have a little boyfriend, have a little girlfriend, whatever works for you. But that wasn't like for me personally. And honestly, and it's not even that, it's also just the fact that I wasn't thinking about that. Like, I wasn't thinking about having a boyfriend. These edits are probably so annoying in my face, guys. But I wasn't thinking about having a boyfriend. I wasn't thinking about any of that. Like, I was just thinking about what I had to do, why I was there in school, why I woke up early in the morning to go to school, to learn, not really to learn, just to pass, basically. So, yeah. Those are the 5 tips that I have for you guys. If you guys want me to make a part 2, just comment down below. You guys know my Instagram, my Snapchat. Hit me up there if you guys want to have me make a part 2. So, yeah. Bye.